My name is Dr. Roy Erlichman. I live in Florida. I live in the West Palm Beach area and have practiced in the field of eating disorders for, I suppose, more than 30 years. My particular interest in eating disorders is one that began with a rather strange history. My first concern was why it is that people would go on diets and never lose weight. And from that question many years ago came information to me from people who were telling me that their dieting was not really dieting. It was a history of rather unusual, bizarre, and often secretive events and behaviors that were damaging to them. So during the course of the last 30 or so years, I have worked with that population, attempting to understand them and attempting to understand the research and information that my colleagues would get. About 20 years or so ago, Andrea, 21 years, I think exactly, I came upon IADEP. And from that introduction to that group has come a long history of association in which I have had all kinds of jobs. Jobs that were volunteer jobs that were working in the development of certification, new certification programs. Eventually, after 9/11, actually, I was president of the board at that time, and I've had all kinds of interesting jobs. But it isn't the job that really interests me about this group. It's the fact that these are a group of people who have an extraordinary passion for understanding this disorder, which we have now grown to realize is the single most depleting, debilitating, and high mortality disorder in the entire diagnostic and statistical manual. And as a result of this, we come together to try to help people to interpret this and to bring themselves the opportunity to live, not just to have a life, but to live. I know of no other organization that has such passion, that has such feeling, and such compassion for the ills of these people and their families and those they touch. What's even more interesting to me is I don't know anybody who in some way isn't touched by an eating disorder. So all of us, in answer to your question at IADEP, are people who care about this. And we get together in a way in which our conferences and our meetings and the chapter groups that we're formulating around the country are really more that of reunion and sharing of commitment and information than about anything that I know. And I've belonged to a zillion professional groups and presented at all kinds of conferences and gone all kinds of meetings and events, but nothing with quite the determination, dedication, and efficacy of this group.